Yeah, hi guys. This is a very important topic which we are covering here. It's basically for IO operations. So IO operations is nothing but how you are dealing with any other input output, right? Either if you are talking about console, either we are talking about the file, correct? So when we are talking about files, we will call as the input output operation with the file. When we are dealing with the console, we will say input output operation with the particularly with the console. So you already work with you can say system.out, right? These are nothing but your output stream. So
Hi,
in both
Ashish,
the
are you speaking something?
so system in and system out are basically used
You are
for
not audible right now.
nothing but
Hello,
especially for input output.
hello, Meghna. Are you saying something? What?
Okay. So that is the one thing here. Yeah. Now, if we are just talking about particularly, right, when we are, what is the stream, right? So as we already discussed that stream is nothing but you can say just you can consider as a pipe or maybe you can consider as a flow, correct? So flow of data into a standard input output stream and the file streams like that, correct? So when you are this data, right, when we are using that standard input stream, right, you do something from the standard input, you will take the input to your program, correct? And our standard output stream for display purpose, when you do some operations from your program and it will be displayed. So that is nothing but output stream for display. Input stream, you are basically for taking an input. This is we are talking about for console. So when we display any output to a console, then we can use that, right? So system.out, right? What is it is nothing but you can say the object referencing to a particularly print stream and nothing but belongs to an output stream. System.in, right? We use the system.in, right? If you can use directly from system.in or maybe you can use with the scanner. Both the cases, it will representing to an input stream. In the same way, you can also use that file input stream and file output stream, correct? So you take the data from the file, right, as an input, you do some massaging, something you wanted to do. And then if you wanted to display on the console or store into a, what we can say in database, that is the operation you can perform into your program, correct? When you are basically doing some operations, right? In that scenario, what will happen here? Correct? In that scenario, what will happen here? You will do some operations and after that, if you are generating something in the file, maybe let's say you wanted to do some operations, right? And then after that, you wanted to generate the output into a file output stream or maybe any file. So you wanted to create a file. So in both the scenarios, this is the basically you need to understand the entire concept, correct? So the data you are reading from the file, and if you are basically using the stream, you can do some work on the data, generate the result, store into a database. You wanted to do something else, correct? But if you are doing something into a from the console as an input, you are doing some massaging onto an input and then generating a results, or maybe just like we have seen into a one of that particularly Maruti design program. So you take some input, after that you are processing something, right? And you are passing this input to your Maruti manufacturing plant, this code, and then you are building a car or you are generating all these, you can say, features of a car. So this is nothing but the practical example for your keyboard with the standard input output. But if you wanted to do something with the file, in the same way, you need to work with the file. So in file input stream, file out, there are many such classes when you are working with the file. Okay. So when we are saying that many such files are, if you are talking about reading and writing the files, correct? Then there is a one more type of you can say input stream, output stream, that is something called as a object input stream and object output stream. These object input stream and object output stream, generally we use it for a serialization purpose, okay, and the externalization purpose. When you wanted to write any object to a file, or maybe if you wanted to customize your serialization process, then you will use that object input stream and object output stream, correct? So that is the separate concept. We will take it up later, but as of now, we will stick with your keyboard and the file here. So here you can see this input, it can be taken from that object, console and file, right, as the source. Then from the input stream, you will pass it to a Java application. It will go to a Java output stream and the destination. So it is not like that every time you will take it as an input. You can also start processing your Java file, and it is taking from your database or somewhere, and it can generate it, right? So it is not like that every program will take an input from the, you can say, the source, not like that, correct? Some Java file can itself can process the data itself, taking the data from your database or maybe somewhere else, and process the, you can say, the result with the help of output stream. So in that scenario, it can write that data, you can say the data to a file, to a console, or maybe sending it to a particular socket, to some other applications like that, correct? Practical example, we can say, let's say in banking application, you wanted to generate that transaction report, correct? So what you do, your Java program will go and fetch the data from your database and generate the particular report based on your date range and what type of file you wanted to generate. Either it is a PDF, or it is a CSV, or it's a XLS, or maybe it's a pure doc format. So the type of file, you can decide which type of file you wanted to use it, and then you can just start writing into that type of file here. This is the one thing here. Now, if you wanted to say, there is the same one example you can see for, let's say, in the banking application, generally you can also process the payment with the help of file. So when we say process the help of file, so in the salary processing, when you have a 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 50,000 salary credit to an employee's record. So what will say, so it is not possible to individually, you will initiate that transaction for each and every employee. So the salary processing is generally done through a, you can upload your file here, and this file will have all these employee records and the transaction details, right? So there is a specific formats for there for the payment files. So in that format, you can put it there. Either you can use a CSV or different type of files, and using these files, you will send this file to Java application. Then this Java application, nothing but your payment processing file. It will start processing the file to a, based on what is the beneficiary or initiator account which is available in your payment file, and will start doing it and start inserting a data into a database, and it will process the complete salary into a different accounts, correct? So this is the way. There is a two example you can understand how this file processing can be done. So as I told you, there is a main base root or maybe base class of any in the Java hierarchy object, input stream, output stream. Here you can say file output stream, byte array stream, file input stream, right? And you can say buffered input stream and data input stream. File out for output, you can say file output stream, byte array output stream, right? Here you will have a buffered output stream and object output stream. Now we need to, we are just discussing about the stream classes, right? So stream classes are not working on the character, they are working on to a basically byte. Okay, so you need to keep in mind, either you are dealing with the console, you are dealing with the file or anything, right? So this is what we are looking for here. Buffered input stream. Now here you will have the character input stream. So character streams are basically working with the characters. So what is happening here, generally you already know, any data we process, this data is basically converted in the form of byte and the bit, maybe you can say 1010 format, right? And then we process and we'll do it. So that is one thing. So basically, if you are working on that level, so you will have that this is all the byte stream. So buffered input stream is nothing but you are not doing one by one, right? Rather than you can just make a buffer for that and you can, based on that buffer, you can process it. That's why we use the buffered input stream or buffered output stream. Print stream, we have already discussed it, right? These are the classes we have discussed. Now there is a character. So character stream is nothing but your buffered reader, file reader, input stream reader, output stream reader. Reader classes are basically completely belongs to your characters. So characters means you don't need to work and just check for a stream. You character by character, you can read and you can write it. So that is the advancement we have got it from the, as this Java got evaluated or evolved here, you can say, and in the new Java versions, many such these classes are available. So file writer, file reader, here these classes you can directly read line by line also. Buffered reader and buffered write, you can say, right? Writer, these are also you can write and read basically in the with the help of buffer here, right? So input stream reader, output stream reader, these are the also classes we can use it for particularly character streams. So you need to understand what is the different significance of the stream, right? So what is the stream classes? What is the characters? So it is always better to work with the character classes because you don't need to work with the byte stream and you need to check it for the different, you can say, byte and all of the things. Here you can directly work with the character and also you can file reader and file writer, you can use directly a line by line also you can read and write. Correct. So Java provides IO stream to read and write data where a stream represents the input source and output destination, which could be file, IO devices and other program. So when we are saying aux socket, you can also send this to another program. So when we are sending this particular to another program, in that scenario also this data is traveling in the form of, right, byte by byte. So based on the data they handle, there are two types of stream, byte streams and the character streams, right? That is weird. The reader and writer classes are super classes or all of the character stream classes, like file reader, file writer, right? Buffer reader, like this. These are the reader classes. So these classes that are used to read and write character streams, correct? And input stream and output stream classes are abstract classes, are the all super classes of input and output stream classes, correct? And these classes are used for read and write a stream of bytes. And all these classes have a superclass as a object. Okay. So this is the way you need to understand it. If you know this hierarchy, you know the purpose, right? Then it will be very easy to implement and write this code for a file here.